Welcome back to the Workbench After Hours podcast. My name is Keith, and I'm your host. This is where we talk about the firearms community, shop talk, and everyday life experiences. Thanks for tuning in to episode... Wait, what episode are we on?
Is this 20?
No.
19?
Is it 19?
I don't know.
Let me look.
We need to start writing it down beforehand.
Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode number 19 of the Workbench After Hours podcast. Two co-hosts, Chris and Hunter, back with us this week, and we have one topic that we want to talk about, gun related, and then we'll kind of go over some other things. But first things first, what are we drinking today, Chris?
Well, I found a bottle in my wine rack that I apparently bought or had, didn't know what it was, and then I pulled it out and it was cognac, Remy Martin.
Remy Martin.
Yeah. I was like, I guess we'll try it. It was just sitting there for like probably 2 years. I was like, what is that bottle?
So we looked it up because we weren't sure if we're supposed to drink it on the rocks or just as is. And Hunter read something to where it says...
We weren't positive, but it just said it with ice it'd be too watered down. It mutes the flavor. So we're supposed to try it at room temperature, maybe slightly below. No ice.
So we read that on the internet, so it's got to be true.
I mean, yeah, everything on the internet's true.
Whew. Making a mess over here.
You can smell it.
Give a little sniff.
And a shout out to Nate the Great, who was on a few episodes ago. He got us these. What are those, Chris?
Whiskey stones, but they're in the shape of a nice
Here,
bullet.
you show it in that camera.
That one?
Yeah.
So
it comes with
so they're like these metal bullets that...
Yeah, they're like you just put them in the freezer and...
Comes with 6 of them.
Yep. Looks like a little old school revolver that holds it.
Yep. It's pretty cool. So we appreciate that, Nathan. We will put those in the freezer for next week and try them out.
Thank you, Nate.
Yes.
I won't charge you for it after I whoop your ass when we play Rosie Up Top.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that competition to happen. Like, what's going on with that?
For the beatdown.
I don't know.
You guys need to
It's
get
just been so
after it.
busy. It's just been so busy and rainy lately.
Yep. We're not playing in the wind.
Oh.
So now we're setting terms, are we?
Oh,
I thought it was just when we were all available to play, but okay.
All right.
Oh, no, I'm tired of the wind.
So the one that I had cognac one time before, and it was much sweeter, much less harsh. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my cube to it.
Yeah. You want a cube, Chris?
I don't know.
Give me that other cube.
I like it, but I don't want the I don't want the burn the whole time.
Yeah, that's
That'd be good with a cigar.
It would be. It's
Really
it's
good.
very. There's a really sweet aftertaste.
Yeah.
But it's very heavy front.
Yeah.
Like very heavy on the front end there.
And I guess we probably should have done some research of what it actually is. It says AOC Cognac Fine Champagne. I was always under the impression that it was just really distilled wine.
I don't know.
To get the alcohol content up to what a spirit drink would be, but still kind of keep those flavors of wine. But this tastes like straight up whiskey to me.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm gonna dump that in my glass over here on the rocks because that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I bet it'll taste better with the water, a little bit of ice and water.
Yeah. So, Hunter came out with some good news of becoming a dad last week, and he's got some other news this week. Maybe.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking up what cognac was. A high-quality brandy properly that is distilled in Cognac in Western France. So it's called that because I guess that's where it's distilled, but it's just brandy.
Right on.
So I was completely wrong. But anyways, yeah. So last Saturday, we did our little gender reveal, and turns out having a boy. So pretty excited. I truly didn't care what it was. My wife kept being like, "What do you think it is? What do you think it is?" Well, I never gave her a response because I really didn't care what it was. But I'm the last boy with the last name Thole, so we only want 2 kids. Getting the boy out of the way early is just like a weight off my chest. Because if we had 2 girls, well, I'd shit out of luck.
That's awesome. Congrats. Heck
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
So when's he going to get his first disc?
As soon as he can make a proper grip, I'm at least going to give him a mini, if not a full-on frisbee. So he just is so used to having it in his hands. By the time he can throw it, it's just going to feel like second nature to him.
Yeah, and then when he gets old enough, we're going to have to get him a little 22 rifle as well.
Mm-hmm.
Get him starting shooting early.
Maybe start him with the old Red Ryder BB, move up to a pellet,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get him a 22.
Yep.
So,
Fresh.
yeah, but I just remember getting home Saturday night after we found out, and I was going to bed and just moved my jaw around. I'm like, oh, why does it hurt so bad? It's because I was cheesing so hard the whole night after I found out. So,
Yeah, so you got a funky looking microphone over there.
yeah, I got the B.
It's called the Neat Worker Bee.
Neat Worker Bee.
Yeah, so I did a video on that one, and it's just cool. You can't really see it because it's facing away from the camera, but the front, and it's basically got a bee theme. Here, let me switch over to.
It's all honeycombed, it looks like.
Yeah, there's a pop filter, but underneath the pop filter, the main speaker is. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty sweet. It looks like a bee.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
And it works out for me. I'm sure you guys will go check out the video Keith did on it, a little review, but works out perfectly for me because, as you know, I can't sit still very often.
Yep.
And I can kind of bob and weave in here, and it
Picks
That's
you up.
pretty good.
it picks me up. So
Or I'll meet you away. Put that on there. But yeah, so that's a condenser microphone, so it's going to pick up a lot more noise around you versus like what I use and what they've been using prior are dynamic microphones. So it really just picks up what's right in front of it. So you got to really speak directly into it. And the further you move away, you lose that volume. Whereas with these condenser microphones, and Chris has one too, you have a little bit more play with on those. So just trying them out. I did both of those on a video. So I guess some new news. I will be launching a second YouTube channel probably here shortly. It's ready to go. I got 3 videos up over there. I just have to have Hunter help me with the profile picture and get those launched. But basically they're kind of reviewing microphones because with the podcast I've gotten a microphone fetish, it seems like, because I keep getting different ones just because they're cool. Each one looks and sounds different, so I love testing them out. And I've done some microphone reviews, but they don't really fit the gun channel.
Mm-hmm.
So usually people that go to that channel are looking for guns and not really interested in probably audio or microphones or anything like that. So decided to do a separate channel dedicated to that. So I'm going to be doing microphone reviews and kind of everything that we use for the podcast and YouTube videos. Kind of I'm going to do a studio tour, kind of just showing how we have everything set up and then the equipment we use, and then also do separate videos on everything else like this Rodecaster Pro and some of the programs and everything. So
yeah, and weren't you saying? I mean, obviously microphones is what you've kind of got a new passion for, but weren't you thinking maybe too a little bit of just kind of a technology review type of channel as well?
Yeah. So that'd be kind of cool, something different. So again, with YouTube, it's all about the analytics and everything. So you have to be really niche down on your YouTube channel. If you get too broad, then that kind of screws everything up. So I'm going to try, and since it's has nothing to do with guns, although we do it with the podcast, it's just better to do a second channel. So gonna get that launched here, so keep a lookout for that. Shotgun Studio.
Shotgun Studio.
So try to stick with a
yeah.
gun-ish name, but if you don't know, there's also a type of microphone that is a shotgun mic, so kind of plays together. So
Yeah, Ben puts both worlds together, and don't you have a new pair of headphones on as well?
yeah, I do. So Rode is a microphone company. That's really what they do. And then they did this Rodecaster Pro, this mixer that I have here in front of me. I guess I can't really see it on either one of those, but they just made these studio headphones, and they are freaking awesome. Because when I do the podcast, I just use Bose noise canceling headphones. They sound okay. And I also use the headphones for when I'm editing videos to get the audio really dialed down. And man, these things just are awesome.
Yeah.
And they're super comfortable. And I know this, unless you're into this kind of stuff, they come with different colored cords. So I went with the blue one to kind of match my blue cord on my microphone. So it's kind of cool. So they give you different options and lengths. And so depending on if you're left or right-handed, you can put the cord on that side of you. So like with yours, I think your guys' are kind of stuck with just being on the right side. So it's kind of nice, gives you some flexibility. So just kind of nerding out on that stuff right now.
Yeah, I tried them on, and they were like feather light. You barely even know they're on your head.
Yeah, and let me tell you, there is a noticeable difference in what I'm hearing in the headphones with these versus the Bose headphones.
The audio quality was insane.
Yeah, it sounds so much better to me just listening to us talk right now.
But enough for that. That's for the next channel.
Yes. So yeah, keep a lookout for that. I'll do a launch video just saying I'm watching this channel on the Boomstick YouTube channel. And then, yeah, keep a lookout for Shotgun Studio if you're into that kind of stuff. So, anybody do anything in guns this week?
I brokered a deal between a guy I work with and Keith for Keith to order him and get him this new gun, and it just came in today, so I think Keith's going to go ahead and pull it out and let everybody see.
I feel like I should be on Sons of Anarchy right now. So, this is the civilian version of what would be a MAC-10.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever watch certain shows or anything like that, a MAC-10 is basically this. It's a submachine gun, and then it usually has a suppressor on it. So you can legally own a MAC-10, but it's going to cost you a lot of money, and you got to go through a bunch of paperwork. So they made a civilian version of it that is semi-auto, kind of like any other pistols. And this is not a suppressor. It's a faux suppressor. So it's just a muzzle brake to look like a suppressor. And it comes off if you want to take that off. But it's, in my opinion, not practical. But it's one of those guns that why not have one? Because it does look cool. So this is actually for listener Bryce, who also works with Hunter. And he really wanted a MAC-10. And I'm like, well, I can probably get you one. But, yeah, it's going to be really expensive.
Yeah.
Like thousands and thousands of dollars.
And he's a younger guy, and he's got disposable income right now, and he's already got, I believe, a 9mm Smith & Wesson, I think, and then he might have a 45 ACP as well. But then he just recently got a AR, and then he also had Keith go ahead and get him an AK-47. And so at this point, he was just looking for something more, novel than anything. And so this is what he chose. And
definitely, yeah, I put the 30-round magazine in it. It doesn't take a clip. It takes the magazine.
And it's funny, too, because, to switch the safety on and off, it is such a hassle to get it back.
Yeah, because if you're used to an AR, it's just basically a half turn, if that, or a quarter turn. That's a full.
And then the charging handle is up top, and it's just awkward. But, like I said, it's got a little mount down here if you want to put a flashlight or a laser on it or something. But
yeah, get that laser on there to be super accurate.
But it's just, he wanted it, and he knew the guy who could get it for him, and so I'm sure Keith was happy to be able to do that because he's at least getting a video out of it. So
yeah, I'm gonna do just a quick video on it because I gotta learn about it first. But it's really cool. It's definitely different. So it's pretty cool. It's made by Masterpiece Arms, and it's called the Defender. So this actual model is the Masterpiece Arms Defender. Shoots 9mm, so pretty easy to get now, finally. And it comes with I'm assuming this is probably a 33 round magazine or something like that. I don't know. It's not marked. But I have to download the instruction manual for it. It doesn't come with one. But yeah, it's cool, different. So Bryce, you are the owner of this cool looking gun. So yeah, we'll be picking that up soon. So yeah, pretty cool. So I'm gonna do a quick little video on it, and because I know what a MAC-10 is, but I didn't know that they made a civilian version until he asked about getting a MAC-10, and I don't have the proper license to get one, but if you can find an actual MAC-10, you can buy one. It's just going to cost you probably tens of thousands of dollars and a ton of paperwork, but it's legal.
And then you have to find someone that can actually purchase it.
Yeah, you just have to find a dealer that has a
Class 3
SOT license. Yeah, I don't, because I've thought about it, because with the SOT you can get full automatic guns like that, or you can also get suppressors, which are legal to buy too, but it's $500 a year for the license, and it's due every July. And then the paperwork with that stuff is it's a lot, and the wait time is really long too. So if I do get it, you buy the suppressor online or whatever, and then to do the paperwork takes, when I bought my 3, it took 10 months for each one. So then I have somebody's suppressor in my possession for like 10 months, and it's just not something I want to mess with. If I were to do it, it would be for me, to where I can buy suppressors and keep, and use those maybe for my friends or close family, or people we know. And then obviously I would have to get a full auto, but with ammo prices, it's like, but that'd be cool. But then if I ever decide to get out of the gun business, then there's the process of getting rid of those, and I can only get rid of it, sell it to another dealer with an SOT license. So it gets complicated, but.
Well, Chris, you do anything with guns this week?
No, I've been ordering parts and things and accessories for the safe, because my safe is here. I just got to go pick it up. So I bought the velvet and the rods that Keith has in his safe that just goes down and Velcros to the top. And then I've been looking at lighting kits for it.
And where are you at with recruiting the Army that it's going to take to get it down to your basement?
I think we can do it.
Don't you remember Keith's back hurts whatever day that is?
Yeah. My back hurts too, but it's going to get done. Probably sooner than later.
Oh, I got a thing that day. Damn it. I would love to help you, but I got this thing I've already committed to.
Yep.
I'll help you. I'm actually excited to see your house, because
never been over there.
Never been over. It doesn't make it fair when Keith and I live right next door.
Just go right.
So there's no reason for us to head all the way down south, but
yeah, it's not that far. It's about 8 minutes.
No, I've
that's all.
Yeah.
Oh.
I discovered a coffee shop over in your area, neck of the woods, that I like to go to now.
Yeah, Keith's got a little time in between. Well, he's training right now for his new job, but he didn't have a whole bunch of training he had to do. I can't remember what day it was, and I'm talking to him. And he's like, "Yeah, I decided to drive down to Spring Hill to get coffee." And I was like, "Why?" Because I had the time. I don't know. I'm like, really?
So there are certain coffee shops I like, and I'll go, because I don't like Starbucks or Scooters. That's my last resort if I go there.
What a snob.
The other ones I like are, about 15, 20 minutes away. Well, Spring Hill is a little less than that, so it's actually closer. And it's not to drive, because if you take the back road, it's kind of country going back there, so I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's nice. The back roads make it a lot easier.
What are we thinking now that there's some ice?
It's getting better. It's getting smoother to drink now that there's
definitely
ice
more
in it.
drinkable now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Still good.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I liked it, but I wouldn't have taken quite as large a sip right off the bat if I would have known.
Yeah, looking at that from this view, where
It
I
looks
can't
like
really
a wine
see
bottle.
where I can't see the label, it looks like a wine bottle.
Like the wife had it literally on her wine rack, and I was like, "What is that?"
It looks like it would be a port wine in that bottle.
And I went and grabbed it, and I was like, "Cognac? What do we got cognac sitting on the freaking wine rack?"
Which I don't like port wine.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
I've had brandy before, a long time ago. I don't know what brand or price range or anything. I just remember it being like a way sweeter whiskey.
Yeah.
But this, in my opinion, is just
It's got a little more sweet to it.
a little bit, but it's just pretty much as a whiskey to me. So
It's not bad.
I'm guessing that's what brandy is.
You got me.
Wow.
Well,
you guys keep talking.
Well,
Let me
let's
do
go
some
ahead and Google that.
Wikipedia
Internet.
research real quick.
All right, so while he's doing that, I guess we'll jump into our main topic that we wanted to talk about this week, and that is suppressors and silencers. Same thing. It's, they're really called suppressors, but they're known as silencers too. So, was it the last episode that we discussed that him and the ATF are in the process of changing the definition of a suppressor, so that way, because a lot of people will get an adapter for their gun that they could screw on the end and then put a oil can on there.
Oil can, oil filter, and then
Yeah.
there's been a lot of them lately. They're calling them fuel filters, and they're pretty much a silencer.
Yeah. And
So
in our state, Kansas, it is legal to actually make your own suppressor.
yep.
But on a federal level, it's still not legal to do that. You have to register it under the NFA Act federally. So you would only get in trouble if you get caught by a Fed. And
And I think there was like a year or two ago, some guy was doing that. He was making his own suppressors and selling them, and he was engraving on them like for Kansas only or something like that, and he was selling it to people only in Kansas. And eventually he got caught. Didn't get in trouble with the state. He got in trouble with the ATF, and
that's
I
where
think
they get you.
yeah, because they found out like you can't be doing that. And he's like, yeah, but the state is this, so it was a whole big legal thing, and they slapped him on the hand. I think fined him, but yeah, in Kansas you can make your own.
Yeah, just don't get caught. Don't get caught by the feds.
Yeah,
Luckily, we live in a relatively gun-friendly state, so most sheriffs and cops around here don't care. Hell, I had a sergeant that works for one of the police departments here transfer a Barrett, $10,000 Barrett through me. So the cops like guns. I get several cops actually. One of them, a detective for KCMO, had a Springfield Saint transferred through me because I guess they get a stipend to purchase their own duty weapons. So he gets
that's cool.
Springfield Saint. So I'm like, that's cool. So suppressors are legal. You can make them in some states, just don't get caught by the feds. But
they're trying to change that.
Yeah. So I'll let you take over.
Yeah.
That
So
part.
I guess when they were doing this whole what is a suppressor, they're trying to change the name of it, and then I guess it's to the point now where you're having to engrave the parts too, even if it comes apart and the parts are there, you could still get in trouble, even if it's, I don't know, but it doesn't make sense is all I'm going to say. It's very vague and it's hard to read, but it sounds like you can have the adapters, but it's got to be serialized, and then the tube has to be serialized. So any part, it almost seems like everything needs to be serialized now so they can verify that it is a silencer.
Any part that could potentially
come apart,
attach to the gun and dampen the sound, is basically they want to have that fall under the suppressor, to where you have to register it with the NFA, which is the National Firearms Act. So prior to the National Firearms Act, full auto weapons, suppressors, everything was legal to buy. You could just go down to your local gun shop, buy a full auto. But unfortunately, they started the NFA Act, and so you can still purchase those. There's just a lot of paperwork, a wait period, and generally, especially if you're going to get a full auto rifle or pistol or anything, you have to get permission from your local sheriff's department or police department to actually purchase one of those. So, but you still can. A lot of people buy them. They're just like, if you were, I think the prices have probably gone up now, but if you were to buy, say, an M16, it would generally cost you at least $16,000, which it's just
money.
And that's a no frills. It's like the stock
Basic
military one, plastic crappy furniture on it. $16,000, and it's insane. But if I was a dealer and were to buy one, I could buy one for just a few thousand.
Yeah,
which is the only reason I'd get my SOT license. But
but it was real vague. Like it was like him describing the ghost guns. It was real vague on everything. It's like
it basically leaves it up to however they want to interpret it.
Yeah, and it's because I was like, so if you have let's just say you are a car person, you have a bunch of oil filters that you have on hand sitting down in your garage, and they come knocking on your door because like with a short barrel rifle, you gotta have that, and if you got anything that can make a short barrel rifle, which most of us Americans have a saw downstairs in our garage, you can make a short barrel rifle, and they say you can get in trouble for that because you have the means to make it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's very vague and to their liking.
They're getting all kinds of crazy, huh?
Yeah.
The ATF just needs to go away.
That or just, be non-existent.
Exactly. But it'd be nice if, there was prior to It might have been when Trump was in office, but it's been quite a few years now before all that crap that went on with, BLM and all that stuff, and everybody getting so offended. There was a time to where it seemed like they were going to pass what was called the Hearing Protection Act, and that would basically remove suppressors from the NFA to where anybody could just go buy one, at your local gun shop regularly without having to go through the paperwork, register it. And really, in movies, they make it seem like they're super quiet, like you can use it and nobody would hear that gun. That is not how it is in real life.
Not the case at all.
I still wear hearing protection when I shoot it because it, depending on the type of the suppressor, I mean, it has a certain decibel rating to where it's going to reduce that noise level, but they're still pretty loud.
And you got to buy special subsonic ammo usually for it too
to get that maximum sound.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I wish they would have passed that.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but with everything that went on, that kind of got left in the dust, and I don't think that's ever going to
come back.
But it was under the Hearing Protection Act because, shooting guns, especially an AR, super loud.
Especially indoors.
That just helps protect your hearing because it dampens that sound.
Yep.
And yeah, it's unfortunate. I think, most politicians or lawmakers don't know anything about guns, so they immediately think of the movies and that you can go use it and nobody will know that you're shooting a gun, which is definitely not the case. So
yeah,
unfortunately, the
amount of movies you see where they're moving through a house and taking out one person at a time and people are still sleeping as they're shooting silence. Yeah, no, everybody in the house is awake the second that thing goes off. It's not like it's
yeah.
I mean, I would love to have something like that, but
they just don't exist.
No, you can't make a gun that quiet. It just, I don't think it's possible. But so yeah, that's that act, House bill or whatever it was, I haven't heard anything about it in quite a long time. Before I bought my last two, I was waiting. I'm like, that was when this was starting to go through. I'm like, maybe this will get passed, because when you buy a suppressor, you have to pay a $200 tax stamp. So not only are you paying
for the suppressor,
say $500 for the suppressor, then you got to add on your $200 tax stamp, so that's $700. I was like, well, I'll wait. Because I was going to buy two at a time, because I was buying one for my main rifle, and they were running a special where you can get a 22 suppressor for like $99. Like, perfect. But that wasn't going anywhere, so I decided to buy the bullet. So then I had to pay 2 tax stamps.
But shooting that 22 suppressed was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that may be the one gun that it's actually quiet when you shoot it, but
it sounded like a BB gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Give the bad guy a couple stingers and he has to run back and
but
regroup before he comes back in?
You're not gonna go rob a house or do anything with a 22 rifle, because you're just gonna piss off whoever you're shooting. And those things jam. Like the subsonic rounds in a 22 long rifle are super finicky, and a lot of the guns, there's not enough pressure to run the action back, so it jams. So I've stopped running subsonic ammo in my 22 just because there's not enough back pressure to run the bolt. And so then you're sitting there, may pop off a couple rounds and one gets stuck and you got to mess with it. And I'm like, you know what? It's going to be quiet enough. I'm just going to run standard velocity ammo.
Well, that's what, when we were out shooting at your cousin's, that land that he had that one time, it kept jamming up on me, and you kind of messed with it. And then he had just normal 22 long, and he loaded that up, and I got to shoot a whole round through that. And really the sound difference was not substantial, but it was, man, was it fun. Yeah. 22 is fun. It's just, unfortunately that ammo's cheap, so you end up just in general having issues shooting 22, but then you add a suppressor to it, and that just adds a whole nother level of stuff that can go wrong. So you definitely don't want to use a 22 for home defense, self-defense, or even robbing people. That is like definitely made for plinking, like just to go out and shoot stuff. And I mean, you can use it for hunting little critters, like say rabbits, squirrels. Yeah. But I don't think I would go anything bigger. Define critter. Probably like a... I'm just kidding. Yeah. It's just when you say critter, that could be so broad, but... It could. But that's up to interpretation. Yeah. Just like all these new laws, huh? Right. But one thing I did want to show
is, so for those that don't know, because there are, a lot of people that don't know this, suppressors are legal to buy. So as long as you can buy a gun and live in the gun-friendly states, there's a few that don't let you buy suppressors, but you can definitely buy a suppressor. He's leaving. Adios, amigo. We scared him off again. But no, it's so you can legally own a suppressor as long as you live in that gun. I think it's like 47 states, or something. I know California, New York, the normal ones that aren't pro gun, but most of the states it's legal. What you have to do is you buy it, whether it's from a local gun shop, online, which I'll show you in a second where I recommend to buy one. And then you fill out a form. You have to get fingerprinted since it is part of the National Firearms Act. There's a lot more paperwork and a larger background check that goes through. And instead of a computer kind of running it all, it actually goes to an actual person that looks at it. So you have to get fingerprinted for a suppressor as well. And then, you have a tax stamp, which back when they started the NFA, they set it at $200 to keep people from buying those, because back then in the 1930s, $200 was a lot of money. And luckily that stayed the same and hasn't been able to increase with, inflation, because right now, it'd probably be $2,000 right now. But luckily that, as much as it sucks to pay the tax stamp, luckily it hasn't changed. I think there's been some people that tried to do that, but luckily it hasn't yet. But you pay that $200 tax stamp. There's 2 different forms that you fill out, and one goes back to the manufacturer, one goes to like the ATF, and then once everything gets approved, then you go pick up your suppressor. You still fill out a form 4473, so the same form that you fill out for a gun, and then once that's all on there, then the dealer transfers it over to you. So it's a long, drawn-out process, and they've made it a lot easier to where you can do this stuff online now. A lot of it used to be paper forms and was a pain in the asses, which is kind of why I don't want to get into it, because I still do paper forms. But so I'm going to see if I can do this. My desktop here. That's not it. There we go. So when I bought mine, I bought all of mine on a website called Silencer Shop. They're based down in Texas, and they make it super easy. So it doesn't matter what state you live in, you can still buy it from this site, and they go into so much detail on how to buy it, to walking you through every single step. It also has the ATF wait times, so you can check and see how far they are checking forms. So like right now I checked it, they're at forms that were submitted back in January. So, it's mid-April now. So it does take quite a while for them to do the forms. And then it walks you through the proper way to set up how you want to set it up, because there's different ways that you can do it. The most popular is doing a gun trust, because when you buy a suppressor, it's not like a gun. It's registered to you. So you're the only one that can be in possession of it and use it. Something were to ever happen to you, then what is that noise?
Sounds like garage
door.
Oh, jeez. I'm like, what the heck is that? But it's registered to you, and then it's not like you can just, when you decide to, I don't want the suppressor anymore, you can't just sell it to anybody. So it stays with you. You have to basically surrender it to either the ATF or sell it to a dealer that has a proper license. But when you have it on a trust, you can add or remove people. So
you
if
can do like your family members if you passed away or whatnot.
Yeah,
like
so you could add beneficiaries. So they still have to go through the paperwork process. They have to get fingerprinted. But if they're on that trust, if anything happens to you, they can legally own that or whatever. Or if your wife wants to use it too. So say you guys both go to the range, but she wants to go a day without you, she can take it, because if you can't loan it to anybody without you physically being there. So lot more strict since it is part of that NFA Act. But they have a ton of different suppressors on here. And the cool thing is, on a lot of them, it'll show you obviously what the noise decibel reduction rating is. So the higher the rating, the quieter it's going to be. And on some of them, they have like sound tests, so you can see what the different sounds
like.
are, how much it actually reduces it. So some of the cheaper ones, you know, the decibel rating isn't the best. So it'll show you. I went for the higher decibel rating reduction just because my ears suck. But so obviously it has every single suppressor that you could want on here, and it has YouTube videos to kind of walk you through the process, and it'll also help you through the process of doing your Form 4, which is if you want to make a short-barreled rifle. So if you want to build an AR, and instead of turning it into a pistol with that stabilizing brace, you could put on a regular stock, and at that point it becomes a short-barreled rifle. You fill out a Form 4 online, and it usually gets approved in about 90 days. So it's a lot. You still have to pay your $200 tax stamp, just like anything else on here. But then you legally own a short-barreled rifle or shotgun. So it's a little bit easier process for that. But the suppressors, there's a Form 1 and Form 3. So on here, it kind of goes through that stuff. So under the how to buy section. And the cool thing is, so since we live in a bigger city, we have at least one gun shop that I know of close to us that has a kiosk from Silencer Shop. So what you do is you just buy on here like you would anything else, and then they kind of handle the paperwork for you in the background. You fill out the main stuff, and then they're actually, you know, communicate with the dealer that you want to send it to and send off the paperwork for you. They work with the ATF. You really just kind of fill out the initial stuff and wait. You do have to get fingerprinted. So what this kiosk is, you go up there and do the fingerprints at the kiosk. The gun shop does charge a fee, but it's a lot easier than having to go to your sheriff's office and do it that way. And they also you need a passport photo as well to submit with some of the forms. So you can do that at this kiosk too. So it's pretty cool. So you could just type in like a zip code and find if there's a local gun shop near you that has this kiosk, because that'll, you know, make the process so much easier for you, to where you just fill out a couple things, do your fingerprints at the kiosk, and then you wait.
Yeah.
And then if it is at a gun range, the cool thing is once your Form 1 gets approved, then at that point the suppressor gets sent to your dealer, and the dealer sits on it until you get the Form 3 approved, but then you can actually go up to the range and shoot it. So if you're still waiting for it to be processed and you go through a dealer that doesn't have a range, it's just stuck there for 10 months. Whereas when I did mine, once it got the Form 1 approved and got sent to Centerfire, I was able to go up there and shoot it. I'd have to turn it back into them, but I still got to enjoy it while I was waiting on that last approval. So it's pretty cool. You do all that.
And just to be clear, we're not advocating at all that you go out and buy a silencer or anything like that.
Oh, no.
We just want to give you guys the information.
No, I think everybody should own a suppressor. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. But
it's the American way.
We're not trying to sell it to you. We're just giving you the information.
Yeah, because this is, a lot of people don't know. So, but yes, I highly recommend that you own a suppressor.
Absolutely.
I will definitely say that. Everybody should own one if you own a gun, because it's awesome, and it also protects your hearing. So, yeah,
there's a lot of benefits.
There is. So check out Silencer Shop and Silencer Co. are two of the bigger sites that have them, and it gives you all the information that you need, from walking you through everything. And they have gun trust that they will set up for you. So you just kind of fill it out, and then they send you a copy of that trust, who's listed on there, all the legal stuff with it. So if you want to add you and your wife to it, you can. Or just with mine.
Or they could do 3-year-olds and have them fingerprint right then and there, so they're done and over with.
You know, I don't know if there's an age restriction or not.
That'd be something interesting to look up.
That would. But yeah, so it's I might do a separate like actual YouTube video going over that stuff, because it gets pretty involved. But yeah, so long story short, or long story long, it is legal to own a suppressor. That's basically where I would start if you're thinking about it. Do it sooner than later, because it does take a long time to get approved. So once you buy it, you're gonna be like, awesome, and try and check every day like I did, and then you realize it's better to just try and forget about it. And then the day comes and you get called and like, hey, it's in. You're like, oh, thank God, it's only been a freaking year. But yeah, it's completely illegal to own in most states. So the only thing is that $200 tax stamp, but it could be worse.
Yeah, good.
Could be better though, and we didn't have to go through all that crap and just buy one regularly. But
Was there a time ever where you could just buy one if you wanted it?
yeah, so while you walked out, we discussed that.
Oh, well, it's a story for another time.
Yeah, it's back in the 30s, back, you know,
Tommy guns and
the
all
Tommy
that.
gun days and stuff like that. When they were having a lot of trouble with crime, they basically did the National Firearms Act to where they made them hard to get for people, and that's why there's that $200 tax stamp, because back then $200 was a lot of money, so that kind of deterred a lot of people from going through that route to buy them.
I see.
But it's written in the law that it's $200, and luckily that hasn't changed. I forgot to turn your microphone back on.
That's probably good.
Yeah, so luckily Chris's microphone was picking up. Thank God Chris saw that. I didn't.
I just looked over. I was like, his levels aren't moving, and their buttons on.
Well, I could just cut him out anyway.
Yeah.
He's
You just need-
irrelevant.
You just need me for the first part of the podcast. I've been out.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. I'll have to check. I'll have to go back and see if I need to fix that.
It'll be all right.
Luckily, Chris has a condenser mic too, so it probably
Picked
you up enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. So after the NFA Act was invoked or set up, now you have to go through all that crap.
Fun.
But
It is fun.
so yeah, but I do again highly recommend getting a suppressor. I wish I could sell you one, but I'm not licensed for it, so you're gonna have to find somebody else.
Dang it.
Unless
Unless you win the lottery.
well, it's like it's when I think about it, and then the July date passes, and I'm like, well, crap. If I buy it now, then I got to redo it in July. So if I were to sign up for that license now in April, I'd pay the $500. I still have to pay another $500 in July.
So you might as well wait till July.
Exactly. But I got some other stuff
Brewing.
going on that I don't want to waste $500 on.
Yeah, you gotta save all that money for all these mics.
Like
Yeah, you
that.
want to test.
Like that new toilet that you guys put in the wrong part of the house.
I only replaced that toilet because it was legitimately leaking.
Why not replace both of them? That way you don't have that dog shit toilet downstairs anymore.
So Hunter hates our toilets because the ones that came with the house are the two buttons on the top.
Which we have at our house as well. And I think that's maybe why I have such a vendetta against them, because I cannot stand them. You press the one, there's a single droplet and a double droplet. The one's supposed to be for number one. The two is supposed to be for number two. The number one, you have to press it and hold it for like a solid 10 seconds to get it to actually flush.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, you have to hold for at least 5 seconds. So it doesn't matter. If you, instead of just pulling the lever like it normally does and flushes, you have to sit there and do that. If it doesn't go down all the way, you come back a half hour later and look, and you're like, what the fuck is in there?
So you realize you're the only one that complains about our toilets?
Yeah, it may be because I have the same toilets. I'm just so fed up with them. I cannot stand them.
The thing I'm fed up is that these schools are having all this automatic flushers now, and the kids come home thinking that they're got automatic flushers, and they don't.
So they get up off the toilet, walk away.
Yeah.
And
I keep telling, even at restaurants, I get on my son for it all the time. Flush the fucking toilet. No one wants to see that shit.
Hey man, if it's yellow, let it mellow.
God.
We're not on a septic
save
system,
water,
son.
man.
Yeah. Jeez, it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Kids these days, so spoiled.
What else we got?
I mean, I guess I could leave you with this.
I just wanted to rant about suppressors, and I did that for a little bit. So
We went and apparently, because it's so hard to get quality daycare these days, we went and met with a daycare. It's just a single lady, or not a single lady, but it's one woman who runs it out of her home. She only takes 4 children at a time. But before that, when I was in high school, did you guys ever, when you were like with a girl for the first time and you had a fart and you had to hold it in the entire time, and then when you finally left, you just let out like the biggest fart of your entire life? Ever happen?
hang on, I got something for you. Oh wait, that was the wrong one. No. I
Anyway,
was supposed to do the crickets one.
so that used to happen to me all the time when I first met Jasmine, because like I'd have to fart. We'd watch like 2 movies in a row. You obviously can't fart in front of her. We're at this lady's house. I have to fart so bad. It goes up into my stomach, and my stomach is just like grumbling. And Jasmine's like kneeing me under the table, like, what the fuck is going on? When we left that house, I shit you not, from the second we shut the door until I got in the car, farted the entire time. It's the longest fart of my life.
Is that why you left the podcast just a little bit ago?
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the old internals right now, but
actually legit,
something's
because
not
we
great.
were getting ready to start, and then he gets up and walks out, and I'm like, and then walks back in. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I had to fart.
I don't have to put these guys through hell.
Yeah. Luckily, we got a fan going, so kind of move some air around a little bit.
Yeah, but so anyways, she's judging us just as much as we're judging her, and I'm sitting there and my stomach's going grrr, and I'm just like, sorry, babe, if I ruined this one for us.
Yeah. And then you're like, all right, at what point in the relationship is it okay to do it for the first time?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right away.
Like, when have we been this comfortable? Chris probably just did it the first day, didn't you?
Just right away.
Right?
I was in high school
Everyone's
with
human.
my wife. I was a senior year of high school. You still don't even really know how to talk to girls at that point, let
Right.
alone like what bodily things you can do around them. So
Just do it. It works for
Just
Nike.
wait and let her be the first one to do it. Because it's going to be that much more embarrassing for her.
yeah, but it's never. I mean, it
Oh,
never happened
they
with
run
me.
and hide though. They usually like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I just remember being over there one time, and it's to the point where I thought it was going to start coming up out of. I mean, I was holding it for so long, and she's like, "Do you want to watch another movie?" Well, yeah, obviously. We first started dating. I was like, "Hell yeah, I do." I got to run to the bathroom really quick though. But
I don't remember that. I'm sure that happened. I try to block it out of my memory if it did, because that's embarrassing.
oh, it's so embarrassing. So embarrassing.
Being in high school and girls, that
But I
was
just
a
haven't.
weird time.
I haven't had to do that. The reason why I thought of that is because the last time that happened to me when I was in high school, where I was like,
I can't do
squeezing as tight as I can. Going, can we get out of here, please?
So
And Jasmine just kept asking more and more and more questions, and I'm like, she's told us everything we need. Let's go.
At that point, you just get up and walk out.
well,
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, they're judging you just as much as you're judging them, type of thing.
Oh well.
if you
And
were to,
Jasmine really liked this lady, so
if you were to do it in here with your old microphone, probably wouldn't have picked it up. But this new one might pick it up.
oh, for sure.
And I'm not going to edit that out. I'm sorry.
And these haven't been smelling; they've just been loud. So it's like,
Oh,
you
that's
know,
good at least.
potato.
You can't blame it on the chair because you're sitting on a plastic chair.
That actually amplifies.
Yeah. That'd
Yeah.
be even louder.
Sorry for all the listeners having to sit through
Could have
that.
added that on the microphone review video. How well it picks up farts.
Could have.
Go get a whoopee cushion and
One last thing too, I went and played in the Heritage League yesterday. I've never played in a league before, only tournaments, but realized perfect opportunity for you guys to get your feet wet before you play in a tournament, because it's one round, but you still have card mates. You still can get called for foot faults. You know, you just have to follow the rules completely, and instead of paying, $40 or $45 in a tournament, it's $5, and you can pay $1 extra to be in the ace run, which means if you hit an ace, you get the pot. And a guy I work with went and played it with me yesterday, and he aced, and he got $250.
Nice.
But they do them, they have one at Shawnee Mission. They have them all over, but yeah, you just walk up, pay $5, and you get to go play.
So this is not like a bowling league to where you play a schedule.
It's whenever you feel like showing up. You can play once. You can play every single week. Whatever. Heritage is on Tuesday. Shawnee Missions is on Wednesday. I think that Rosedale is on Monday. I mean, all over. They have them all over.
Yeah.
So could say you and I went. Could we
Yeah.
be on the same card?
Yeah, we can be on the same card. The only thing is, you can pick your card, but if you don't have enough to complete a card of at least 4, you'll have to take in a single or
So
another
the
double group.
4 of us with Nate the Great, we could all.
We could all go play, and we'd all be on the same card the whole time.
I say we do that first.
Yeah. Well, and I will be an asshole, and I will call you guys on your foot faults.
Well, I don't have to worry about that because I'm awesome.
Yep.
So just be warned.
I just
Just so you
stand
know,
behind it.
Hunter talks up a big game, but I think I'm better than he is, honestly. After the last time that he played in this last tournament that he talked about, pretty sure I can beat him.
He can. I've been telling people this for years. You should see the guy putt. His forehand is unbelievable. It's phenomenal.
Yep, I have the
Dude
best.
can throw it a square mile.
I might as well go pro, make some money out of it.
You
Jeez.
should.
Get your own.
Are you kidding me? You get this YouTube channel going and you go pro in disc golf, you'll be set for life.
I'm quitting my new job. Screw that. See ya. We got stuff to do. Do they have disc golf overseas? I know, stupid question.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Yeah. It's huge in Europe, especially like the Scandinavian countries.
I bet you there's some really cool places that you could play overseas.
Oh yeah, the wooded courses are just insane there.
I
And then
watched-
it's getting huge in Japan.
I don't want to go to Japan.
I would love to go to Japan.
Really?
Yeah,
Nah, I'm good.
I like Asian food and
It's different.
I don't
over
think.
there.
Yeah, it's like
no,
not
I like
the same type of
I
Asian.
like Asian. Raw fish. I don't care.
Hopefully,
Bring it on.
Hopefully, your wife doesn't hear just that section. Of the podcast. I love Asian.
She knows I do. Why do you think I married her?
She's not Asian.
She's the most Asian-looking Hispanic woman you've ever met in your entire
Right.
life.
A lot of people think she's Asian at first, but
Yeah.
she's not. She's,
Yeah.
yeah. But that would be cool. Like going somewhere like Scotland and playing disc golf.
You know, I don't
Be
even
cool.
know if they have it in Scotland.
Well, you just said they have it overseas.
Yeah.
Scotland's overseas, buddy.
No, but did you hear what I said?
Yeah.
Mostly in the Scandinavian
Yeah.
countries. Yeah.
Oh, no, there's
Hawaii
a
would-
guy I was watching. He was with Latitude 64, and he was like showing how his progress for like a year. And I watched his videos a lot.
I mean, it's growing all over the world.
Yeah.
Just mostly like, like Sweden, Norway. What's the third one?
Sweden would be cool.
Yeah, Sweden would be insane. Japan, there's one Chinese player that I know who's played in like a national tournament. And then Paul Macbeth, say what you will about the guy, but he has built, I think, 5 or 6 like legit courses in Mexico and South America now. He's trying to push it down south. I mean,
You
it's just going to
move
keep
it everywhere.
growing.
It's grown a lot like last 5 years.
Since I've been playing, the purses have gone from like first place at a major tournament would be you might have won like $1,200 to now they're winning 25-30 grand, and that's just within the last 5 years. If it keeps at this pace, it's just going to be astronomical.
It's gonna be like golf money.
I mean, yeah, if you look at Paul Macbeth, he got a 5-year $5 million contract with Discmania, and then Ricky went to Innova. His was $4 million. He didn't disclose all of it, or maybe that's speculation, but that's what they thought it was going to be. And he wasn't getting paid off of his Tour Series disc, so he's like, whatever, I'll spend the money to break my contract. He went back to Dynamic Discs, and I think that contract was like 5 years, $5 million or whatever, and he makes all the revenue off of his discs. So it's just like, it's becoming a legitimized, like,
Sport.
real deal. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, because it used to just be for potheads and
Yeah.
hippies. Anyways,
So you're saying I have the potential to make a lot of money out of this.
yeah, with your backhand, forehand putting combo, I wouldn't count you out at all.
Look out, Paul Macbeth.
Mark my words.
I'm coming for you.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm not that good. But,
Oh no, he's that good. He's just modest.
yeah. Yeah, totally.
Okay, well, anything else, guys?
I think that's all I had. So keeping this one short, which is nice. We're under an hour, so
Under an hour. Keith's sitting over here in heaven with these amazing headphones on. Probably feels like just air around his head.
yeah. And I'm interested to see how your guys' microphones sound.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
I mean, in our headphones, they sound good. In the testing that Hunter and I did before we got started, they sounded good. So, and when I did the YouTube video, which will be out soon, they sounded good as well. So
I'm just interested to see when we collectively laugh if that's going to have any
Yeah.
crossover.
But luckily, Chris's has this negative 20 decibel thing on there, which if you put that on there, keep it on there, if anybody were to laugh, like if my wife was on the podcast and she like found something funny and does a really loud cackle, it wouldn't blow out the microphone. Yeah, it reduces that by 20 decibels, so it's a lot more, easier on the ear.
Palatable.
Yeah. So, because we know Chris is,
Yeah.
gosh, there's been a lot of times he just,
That cackle, man.
Yeah.
Man, and he gets his voice so high and he's so aggressive on the mic.
Sound like I'm a 13-year-old.
he's so loud. I had to give him a microphone to cut some of that out.
Jeez.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with me?
Well, be looking out for Keith's new channel, Shotgun Production.
Shotgun Studio.
Shotgun Studio.
Come on, man.
Hey,
No.
what am I supposed to do? It's not my channel.
But hopefully after this, Hunter's going to help me with my profile pic, and then it's ready to launch. And I will do a kind of a video on the Boomstick channel, letting you guys about that. I'll post a link, subscribe to it, and especially if you like microphones or are looking into how to do a podcast, there'll be some good information on that channel. So keep a lookout for it. So again, if you're listening to us on Spotify or any of those other platforms, hit that follow button, hit that like and subscribe on YouTube so you'll be notified when we come out with more content just like this.
Be looking out for that sick merch we're about to drop. And anything else, Chris?
I don't think so. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.